we're doing here today is we are starting a new series that is going to be called Classic 42. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reviewing movies that were released exactly 42 years ago. So we're going to start this episode off with a movie called Skyriders, which was released March 26th, 1976. Exactly 42 years ago. And so I had not seen this movie before I watched it today. I haven't even heard of it. Haven't even heard of this movie. It stars a bunch of people I've never heard of and didn't bother learning their names. An interesting little bit of information I read is that two of the producers behind the movie, since they filmed the movie in Greece and there was an explosion, like a scripted explosion on set, and I think an electrician or somebody died because of that explosion, and so they were actually in prison and sent to jail. And I think the producers had to bribe some of the authorities to keep other crew members from, being in prison too. I don't know how long specifically they were in prison. I didn't look into it too much, but that's just a quick thing that I read. So the movie itself, I thought the movie was okay. I mean, it's like the whole plot is a family gets kidnapped, like the wife and the two kids get kidnapped, and then there's the husband didn't get kidnapped because he left or whatever. And so the wife's ex-husband, who is also the real father of the older son, he decides to go on a mission to try and rescue the family, and he recruits like a team of hang gliders or parasailers, something like that. They fly the big kites basically and get around places like that. And so he recruits them to go on a rescue mission with him because the kidnappers are in some monastery in the mountains, and I guess the best way to get to that monastery is by hang gliding or whatever. And so that's basically the plot of the movie, which, it isn't really it's not very exciting, and it's tough for me to tell if that's just because of my own expectations of movies that I've seen nowadays, or if it's because of, how dated it is. Maybe for someone seeing it for the first time in theaters in 1976, it is very exciting. And so something I look at to kind of gauge that is, could this movie be exciting today? If you were to remake this movie, which is possible, if you were to remake this, would a movie about a hang gliding rescue mission, would that be exciting? Could that be exciting? I tend to think it could be exciting, so I'm leaning towards maybe it's just because of how dated the movie is that I didn't find it too exciting. But even before they got to the parts that are supposed to be exciting, the movie still kind of felt a little bit slow to me. And it's only an hour and a half movie. I'm used to more of these like 2-hour movies or 2-hour 15-minute movies. So it still kind of felt slow in the beginning. And a lot of the plot details weren't exactly explained perfectly, I don't think. It was all kind of vague a little bit. Like, I don't really get why the kidnappers were doing what they were doing, and why this family in particular, was this family significant or special. And the kidnappers had this like crazy ransom demand. They were asking like 50 guns and tanks or whatnot. And I just didn't understand like who the real husband is. I mean, not the real. I guess the real husband. The husband who is who the kid thinks is his father, not the ex-husband, if he even is an ex, if they even were ever married, but the other guy, the main guy, who is the kid's real father. And that whole relationship I didn't feel was explained much either. They allude to some like situation or agreement or whatever. I don't know. That a lot of it's vague. It's slow. It's kind of boring. Any like crucial plot details you might end up missing because it's kind of slow and kind of boring. But I still think it was kind of vague exactly. Like, I don't even know what place this is supposed to be. Because everyone was speaking English, but then like the cops seemed a little foreign, so I don't know. But I mean, you know, for what the movie was, it wasn't that bad. You know, I've definitely seen movies that are a lot worse than this. You know, it wasn't anything special in my opinion, though. I can't really think of anything else to. Can't really think of anything else to add here. I mean, yeah, that's gonna be just about it. So I will see you next time.